Meet the big kid behind HTC's Real Kids. Coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Fox 43 studio in Myrtle Beach. We're focused on McGruff, we're focused on Real Kids, and we're focused a lot on HTC, and we're visiting with Nicole Hyman, the marketing coordinator with HTC. Good morning,
That's right.
Nicole.
Good morning, Greg.
A lot of folks have seen you on TV for your many instances on River Talk, the show that precedes this, precedes Carolina People, and
That's right.
I've even seen you on there.
Have you?
You were a superstar on air.
Well, thank you very much.
Is that do you feel pretty natural in that position, or is that something you inherited, or did you have to work hard at it?
I think I was just born this way. I just think it's been something that I've always enjoyed since I was younger. I've always liked to perform and be on TV and be out there in front on stage.
Yeah. And speaking of performances, last Tuesday, I was at a kids voting event and talked to Cricket Alcorn that works with you. She said you'd done some performances at an early age with some, is it pageants?
Yeah, I was in pageants when I was younger. I took dance, and I've been singing all of my life. But I think she was referring to a pageant that I was in as a teenager. I was the Miss South Carolina Junior National Teenager.
Wow.
So I was honored in that way, and went on to the Nationals, and I've got a talent award for dance.
For dance?
Did a tap dance.
You were tap dance. Now, did you study tap a lot in your youth, or was that just...
I started taking dance when I was 2 1/2.
Is that right?
At the Conway School of Dance, and went on and we competed, had several national championships with our Dixie Rockers clog team. So I was very involved in dance, and it was a big part of my life growing up.
Now, with that title as a statewide title, did you travel around the state representing that title?
I did some traveling and visiting as a visiting queen and so on and so forth, but it was very nice.
And where were the national championships held?
In Nashville.
Oh, wow, great. And there were folks from every state represented?
Every state was represented, and Miss North Carolina actually won.
Is that right? Right up there in the Tar Heel State. Golly. I wonder what she's doing now.
I don't know. She was a talented girl.
Any of those other folks?
No.
Really?
I haven't had a chance to keep in touch with them. But.
So you grew up in Conway?
That's right. I grew up in Conway. I've been here all of my life and didn't want to leave. So I graduated from Conway High School in 1994, and then I went on to Coastal Carolina University and graduated in 98.
Great. What did you study, Nicole?
I majored in business administration with an emphasis in marketing. And, of course, the business administration degree at Coastal, it's an accredited business school. But we are exposed to several different avenues of business, whether it's accounting, finance, management. We were exposed to a lot of those different areas. So it wasn't just marketing, although my emphasis was in that area.
Did you ever think about going on and doing an MBA there, or they've got a great MBA program? I've
thought about it. Of course, after I graduated, or before I graduated, I interviewed with HTC.
Yes.
And I had set my sights on HTC and decided that that's where I wanted to work. So I got the opportunity to interview with them, and they hired me as an intern. So I was an intern for 3 months, and then following that, they hired me full-time as a marketing associate.
How exciting. What do you think prompted you to study business administration there at Coastal Carolina?
Well, it was a general degree, and I was very interested in public relations and also marketing, so it just seemed to fit me the best. I know a lot of people, told me, Nicole, I thought you were going to go into education or even be a teacher, but I just decided to go that avenue since it was so closely related to public relations, and I enjoyed working with people and meeting people, and so it seemed to fit my personality.
Starting dancing at age 2 1/2, did you ever think about being a dancing instructor?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I absolutely did. And of course, you have different options and choices, and my choice was to go the business world route instead of the performance route.
Do you think you would encourage parents to get their children involved in dance as early as age 2 1/2?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can see how dance has helped me throughout the years in several different areas.
Really?
And even in my job today, just by being here on Carolina People and being exposed to the different things, different areas, TV, and being in front of people, speaking public speaking. It's helped me in so many different ways that I can see now today. I would definitely encourage parents to get their children involved in the arts, and we know that it helps them not only in the business world, but helps them in school as well.
How exciting. I guess the ability to perform in front of groups and feel comfortable in front of groups. And when you're performing, and this is something I'm not real familiar with that, but when you're performing, do you see everyone out in the crowd, or do you just perform and not look at anyone? I mean, are you just doing your thing when you perform?
Whenever I perform, whenever I was in dance, or whenever I sing in church, I put my whole heart into it.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I do. I would communicate with the crowd, and I think I had the habit of winking at everybody. I'd wink when I was dancing, but I do make eye contact with people, whether it's in church or performing for real kids or whatever. I do put my heart into it and make contact with people in the audience.
That's great. Do you still have family in Conway?
Yes, I do. Most of my family is in Conway, so that's one of the main reasons why Conway is such a place that I will always call home.
Yeah.
But my family is here and have a lot of contact with them. We are very close.
I think you told me earlier your husband's family's in Conway as well.
That's right. My husband's family, fortunately, both of us knew each other very well growing up in Conway, and actually started dating our senior year in high school.
Oh, come on.
So it took a little while for us to get together, but we did, and has a wonderful family, and so I was very fortunate to marry into a wonderful family from Conway.
What's that like, having your in-laws in the same town?
Oh, it's great. I know a lot of people who grew up here in Conway, they've moved off to new places, and I guess in some ways they wanted to get away and away from in-laws or away from their family for a while. But for me, they're just they've adopted me and just make me feel such a special part of their family. So it's great for me.
How exciting, and to be able to get your parents hooked up with his parents, and you all get together for events, see you perform or in church or otherwise. That must be special.
They're very supportive. Both my parents and his parents, as well as our grandparents, are very supportive of us.
Is your husband a performer as well?
Absolutely not.
Oh, no, yeah.
He is not.
Opposites attract.
Opposites attract. He does not like to be in front of the camera, in front of anyone. And he even gets nervous whenever I sing. He gets so nervous.
Is that right?
Yes, even more
exciting.
so than I do. So
he gets nervous for you.
For me, yes.
That is great, Nicole.
Yeah.
Wow. Sounds like, normally for someone like yourself, I'd say your husband absolutely outmarried himself. But golly, that seems like a special husband.
He is.
That's great. That's great. Obviously, big focus is on Real Kids and McGruff. Originally, I think we talked, Jack Monroe had called me and wanted to talk to me to talk to you about McGruff. And, of course, having seen you on River Talk with the Real Kids component and just learn a little bit about HTC, share with the viewers. Of course, the bulk of our viewers are in the PD and in southeastern North Carolina, where HTC, Ori Telephone Cooperative may not have a daily interaction in their lives. Share with the viewers how HTC when it was formed and what it does exactly.
Okay, I'd love to share that with you. HTC is Ori Telephone Cooperative. It's a telecommunications company that began back in 1952. Last year we celebrated our 50th anniversary, so we had a big monumental point for us in the company's era, and we just wanted to celebrate, and we did that last year. There was a group of businessmen that came together and decided that they wanted to provide telephone service to the rural areas of Horry County, and many people can't even imagine what it would be like without a telephone. But back in 1952, the rural residents didn't have telephone service. So this group of men came together and they formed HTC. And some of the people in the area may know it as HTC Communications. Back in 1996, there was a Telecommunications Act that was passed that allowed HTC, Ori Telephone Cooperative, to create its own wholly owned subsidiary called HTC Communications. And so through HTC Communications, we've been able to branch out into new areas. We not only provide telephone service, we provide a wide range of telecommunications services, all the way to broadband, cable, internet, wireless. So we're a full and total telecommunications company.
How exciting.
It is very exciting.
Am I correct that it is the largest telephone cooperative in America?
Yes, it is.
My God, what a huge distinction.
It
What's
is.
that like working for a company that's the largest in America of anything?
Oh, it's outstanding.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be anywhere else.
Now, does Horry Telephone Cooperative have any interaction with adjacent counties, Georgetown County or Marion County or Brunswick County?
Well, through HTC Communications, we've been able to branch out into Georgetown County. We were strictly in Horry County in the rural areas, and through HTC Communications, we've been able to branch out into the city limits, North Myrtle Beach, Little River, and like you said, Georgetown, Conway, and City of Myrtle Beach with telephone service.
And that's HTC Horizon?
HTC Horizon is our wireless service,
Okay.
and we, of course, have our main office at 38th Avenue North in Myrtle Beach at the Bilo Plantation Point Plaza.
Right.
So that's where our main Horizon area is. But, of course, we are partners with Singular Wireless, the second wireless company in the nation.
So you could have lots of clients in multiple counties with Horizon.
Right.
Because of its partnership with Singular.
Right.
How exciting. Let's talk about Real Kids. You mentioned Real Kids. What exactly is Real Kids?
Well, several years ago, we're going on our 4th year now, Real Kids, we came together to provide a student recognition program for students in Horry County.
Right.
And Real Kids, REEL, stands for Recognizing Extraordinary Examples of Leadership. We wanted to create a student recognition program like no other, the one that recognized students that are sometimes overlooked. And so what we decided to do was set some criteria. We wanted to recognize one student per school, so that student was recognized only by their school. And what we decided to do was work with the guidance counselors and principals in those schools to recognize the best person for that year. The students have proven themselves through scholastic, athletic, and community achievements in the face of obstacles. Some of these students have overcome obstacles such as learning disabilities, physical disabilities. They've overcome rough home lives. They've lost loved ones. So we just wanted to recognize students in a way that was very special to them, and students not only for academics, but for overcoming obstacles and then continuing on with their academics.
And this is just recognizing students in Horry County.
Right. We partner with Horry County Schools on this program, and it's K through 12.
Right.
So last year we had one representing each school, which was a total of 43 students recognized.
43 students
43
recognized.
students.
And so the process, again, you said the teachers are nominating the students.
That's right. The guidance counselors at the beginning of the school year, they receive a letter from me, and what they do is actually work with the teachers. The teachers know them best, know the students best, of course, and so the guidance counselors work with them to find the best candidate and nominee for this program.
Golly. Now, and you said this is the 4th year.
You're right.
How's the transition been? Or have you seen improvements each year, or it gets more exciting each year?
We try to make improvements every year, and of course what we do is we actually go out to the school, interview either the teacher, principal, or guidance counselor, whoever nominated the student, and we interview the student right there, and it airs actually during the River Talk segment on Fridays.
Wow.
So the student is not only recognized at the end of the school year with a grand celebration and luncheon, but they're also on television, and a lot of kids really find that rewarding.
Yeah. So you get all 43 this past year. You had all 43 kids and whoever had nominated them. How exciting, Nicole!
Very exciting.
And that's, I guess, where I saw you. And at that time, I believe it was, as you said, overcoming obstacles. This was a child, I think, in a wheelchair, or someone who had a severe disability, and the interaction. The children are very excited. Are they nervous on air?
Some of them are nervous, and some of them, I think they could go ahead and run this program, but they are so inspirational, and just to hear their stories, and they have such positive attitudes, it's really wonderful to be a part of it.
And all 43 of them, I'm sure, or this past year, stand out in your mind. Are there any examples that you could give the viewers who may not have caught some of the River Talk segments on Real Kids? Are there some examples that would really stand out? Maybe one from last year's celebration event?
Well, what we did last year to help improve the program and help, I guess, better the program is we created an award. And the first year that we we hosted Real Kids. We had an outstanding student. Her name was Megan Connor. Well, just 2 months after the Real Kids luncheon and ceremony, she passed away from cancer.
Oh, wow.
So last year, we wanted to recognize one Real Kid that really stood out in our minds. Not so much had the worst obstacle to overcome, but just made a lasting impression on us during the interview. So we named the award the Megan Connor Award. And so the student that won the award was Danielle Conger. She was from Forest Brook Middle School, and she definitely made an impression on us, having overcome, she's partially blind, but yet she draws. She's a great artist, and she also reads. It's just amazing what she's able to do. She also lost her father.
Oh, wow.
A couple years back. So we recognized her, and she was so surprised at the luncheon. She was so surprised.
I'm sure. How special. And the other kids get into it. I mean, they recognize all of them are there. They've all been nominated and all recognized as amazing students and children. I'm sure at some level, all of them want to be recognized as and you said this Danielle Conger was named for which award? That's
for the Megan Connor Award in memory of Megan.
Right, sure. So I'm sure everyone wants to have that opportunity to get the Megan Connor Award, but you can only get one, just like for each of the students who were nominated by the teacher or the guidance counselor tie-in. There's other students in the classroom who'd love to be recognized.
And they're all real kids.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How exciting, Nicole. That must be wonderful for you. Now, is that, do you have brothers and sisters in the area?
I do. I have a sister who is a teacher at Ainer High School. She teaches physical science. And I also have a brother who is attending Horry Georgetown Technical College.
Is that right? How exciting. So, I mean, at some level, this has really helped a lot in your interaction with children.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And of course, working with children as I do in education, being the liaison between HTC and Horry County Schools and also Georgetown, I really have a passion for education, and also I love children. So it really is right up my alley.
Yeah. Nicole, am I correct that HTC also has a phone book recycling project or a program? Is that just in Horry County Schools?
Well, actually, that involves Horry and Georgetown County Schools as well as private schools in the area. Over 10 years ago, HTC started this telephone book recycling project, and schools, whenever they recycle these books, they get 15 cents for each one. So it's a fundraiser for the schools. They can use it hopefully for new technology, computer software, computer equipment, whatever it might be related to technology. We hope the schools will use that money for that purpose. But the schools, they get involved. They get their U-Hauls. They go down the Strand and collect telephone books from these hotels.
Yeah, you need to send one of those schools over here to Fox 43.
We'd be glad to
quite
send
a few of those, both HTC and Verizon books.
We're glad to.
And do you all give money for any phone book or just HTC?
It's any phone book.
Oh, great, good.
We will accept any phone book, even from another state.
Yeah, we may have gotten rid of all of our Verizon. No, I'm kidding. We've got both phone books around, actually, as I guess probably some folks do. McGruff, now that's a big program. We got 7 or 8 minutes. Let's talk about what exactly is McGruff, how it got started, and how HTC got involved.
Okay, well, the McGruff House program began back in November 5th, 1982. So I think most people recognize McGruff, the McGruff dog, take a bite out of crime. They've had the McGruff Safe House program since then. And then the McGruff Truck program actually was piloted and created back in 1988. So several years after the McGruff Safe House program, they started the McGruff Truck program. Now, it wasn't until 1991 that they actually offered it to utility companies nationwide. So Santee Cooper, I've been working with them over the last year. They've been involved locally for several years and statewide for several years. So, of course, me being a part of the educational programs at HTC and having such an interest in the children of our area, I thought we must be involved in the McGruff Truck program. So we presented it to management, and they approved it and agreed with me that we should be a part of this safe program for the community.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Who are some of the other groups that have gotten involved, Nicole?
Well, like I said, Santee Cooper is the main sponsor in this area, but Ori Electric Cooperative as well, Georgetown Water and Sewer, and the City of Myrtle Beach are all involved in the McGruff Truck program. So whenever kids see a McGruff truck, they see the symbol, which is a sticker of the McGruff dog, either on the front or the rear sections of the trucks, then they know that we will be able to help them in emergency situations.
Right. Now, can anyone be involved in this, or is it primarily just big public utilities?
It's primarily utility companies that are involved, according to McGruff. And, of course, there's a national McGruff House Network program that's involved. It's stationed in Salt Lake City, Utah. It's where their headquarters is located. So mostly it's just utility companies.
But at some level, you want everyone to get involved because you want all folks to help notify others that the McGruff truck's close by, or that there's that symbol.
Right, exactly. And one way of doing that and letting kids know about the program is through assembly programs in the schools and doing different programs like I do in the schools. And of course, what we want kids to know is if they have an emergency, whatever it may be, whether it's at school, whether it's on their way home from school, or whether they are at home and they have an emergency, they can motion for help. And that's what we do. The message of the McGruff Truck program is we'll call for help. And so whenever a McGruff truck, whether it's an HTC employee or another utility company, sees a child that needs help, the child is motioning for them, they will radio for 911, fire and rescue, the police. They will call the most, of course, emergency help.
Right. What's a normal day like for Nicole Hyman? It seems like with these three, my God, you've got the recycling project, Real Kids, of course, McGruff Truck now. That's taking a lot of time. What's a normal day like for you?
There is no typical day. That's one of the things that's so exciting about my job is the it's so versatile from one day to the next. One minute I may be talking to a teacher, or I may be talking to Discovery Channel about a new program that we're going to launch here. There's no typical day for me. I meet so many different people from day to day, whether it's teachers or other people in the community like you. So it's very exciting.
How exciting. It is exciting, Nicole, and to think about that constant interaction with children. And these are kids, of course, with the 43 schools, you're talking about kindergarten or first grade through 12th grade. So you're not only interacting with 15-year-olds, but also 7-year-olds and 17-year-olds.
That's right. The age differences, you're able to talk to kids in kindergarten and first grade about 911 safety. And then when you get on up to the high school years, you're able to talk to them about careers and what to do whenever they go for an interview. So, so many different things, so many different avenues.
Well, now you mentioned earlier on that folks sometimes talk to you about if you've thought about education or teaching, or why didn't you go into teaching? Why did you start up there at HTC? Obviously, we talked about the opportunity to be an instructor, and when you're working with all these students and the teachers and the guidance counselors, does it ever give you some yearning to be in the classroom? Or obviously that great commitment to HTC is abundant, but do you ever think about, golly, I'd love to be with kids every day? And you are, in a classroom setting.
Yeah. Actually, no, it just exposes me just enough where I get the rewards from working with children and able to work through HTC, to work with them. I meet some wonderful teachers. I did make the right career decision in going into business rather than education, but that's just for me. So someone else may think differently, but through my job, working with education as I do, I'm exposed just enough where I can make the impact that I would like to make.
The really, really exciting thing is that HTC, Ori Telephone Cooperative, has an entire person dedicated to schools in Ori and Georgetown County. That's dramatic. I'm sure, and there may be similar groups like this in the PD or in southeastern North Carolina. I don't know if Progress Energy does something, or if they're Williamsburg Telephone Cooperative or some of those groups do anything like that. But an entire person dedicated is a big deal. It
is a big deal, and it just speaks loudly about HTC and the way they feel about the community that we serve. And of course, education and the children are our future. And so just HTC's impact is huge by having a person like me in this position to be able to make contact daily, every hour if necessary, with the people in the community and with the teachers who are working with our students every day.
When you think of in the classroom and the students you're meeting and the folks you meet in conjunction with McGruff or obviously with the recycling project, has there been an inspiration for you, Nicole, all the folks you've met in these contexts, your family members, others, teachers in school, has there been anyone that's really inspired you to?
Well, I can't really pinpoint one person that has inspired me. Of course, my parents have always been my support and my encouragement. Also, my grandparents. I would say my family definitely has been my inspiration to push me and to encourage me along the way. I would definitely say they've been my inspiration. But to pinpoint one teacher, I wouldn't be able to do that, or pinpoint anyone else. I wouldn't be able to do that.
She started dance at 2.5. Obviously, parents were involved in that. To think of a husband who gets more nervous when she's performing than she does, the commitment of family, those inspirations start at a really early age. They go for many, many years. Nicole Hyman's making a big commitment, and HTC's doing the same thing. Nicole, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you, Greg.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People coming up next. We want to thank Nicole Hyman and HTC's amazing dedication to education for making today's Carolina People so special.